Hi everybody, hello and welcome back.
Ciao a tutti, già che stiamo, non ci sentiamo da un po', un breve saluto a tutti gli amici italiani che ci ascoltano. Questa live, grazie a tutti veramente di cuore, questa live sarà principalmente in lingua inglese, ma ogni tanto se ci sono delle cose importanti non temete, pensiamo anche a voi.
So back to English, or the best we can do in English. Today, at this very hour, we celebrate the first week of Outgunned Adventure on Backerkit crowdfunding. So I don't know about you, but if you ask me and Simone, it seems like this campaign is going on since forever. I believe I'm sure we did at least 3 to 4 weeks of campaigns already, but it's just been the first of 3 weeks. So I don't know really how we are going to handle, how we are going to
the rest of the
survive
journey.
this. Also, despite the fact that this is going to be our longest campaign yet, because we are full 3 weeks, we usually do around 2 weeks. Despite that, at the end of the first week, we are already over our outgunned record. So this is also our most founded campaign yet. And by the way, thank you guys. So we are, as we were saying, really in uncharted waters right now, pun intended. And because we never had this huge success, we have never had this much days ahead of us during a campaign. So I guess we'll see what happens. Yes, we just unlocked, as you are saying from the chat, there's so many of you. I cannot possibly greet all of you, but thank you, John and Katerina and Matt, Johannes, Jay, Andrew, Ren, of course, Joao, Jay. There's a lot of you. Thank you for being here. So today we are going to take a look at what we unlocked, and of course we've just unlocked the Alchemy module for Outgunned, but more of that in a minute. But also in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, we are going to be joined by the assistant director,
Yes.
Matt Kay, who is the designer of the assistant director module and now of the solo rules for Outgunned Adventure, and he's going to talk a little bit about what he's going to do with this assistant director module. Thank you guys, thank you very much.
A lot of love from the chat, from the comments, from everywhere.
So many of you.
Yes, we are so very thrilled of itself to be here and to try and achieve and better ourselves, our games, and our fundings even more thanks to you all. And we are working so very hard. And Matt, we will work very hard as well, since you just unlocked the solo mode. He will have to write as well to deliver you the best possible game.
So let's take a look at everything we unlocked during the past week. And by the way, I cannot possibly mention everything, but I will try. Let me see if I can find everything. Sorry, I have a mess on my desktop right now. Okay, first of all, we unlocked the dice pouch, which is going to be roughly, this size, this kind of pouch, and so it will be enough for up to 4 sets of dice. I use them for 4 sets of dice.
Yes, 4 full set of dice should fit inside nicely.
Very cool little dice pouch. We went for this clear cotton design because it looks kind of like the pouch that Indiana Jones uses in the idol at the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark. And then what else? I'm going to go a little bit faster. Trap cards, which are going to be extremely helpful because you can just literally throw traps at your players
Yes.
without the need of many, preparation. And also because we like the fact that traps might have different, different kind of failures. Not only you are losing grit, but you can also lose equipment, get a condition, or find yourself in a difficult spot. So it's easier to have. I think the most useful thing about the new trap mechanic is giving you idea on how to handle the I failed against a trap, now what? Because that's, I think, it's the most tricky part. How to avoid the trap, but most importantly, what happens when I, trigger a trap, just to avoid that, standard losing HP or standard, dying. So we want to have more diverse kind of failure. There's a problem with my mic. I'm going to stay a little bit closer. Let me know if that works better for you. Then we unlocked run cards, which are going to be useful for a new mechanics. We haven't really talked much about that, but we actually never have the time. But the run mechanic is similar to the chase mechanic, so the run cards are going to help you make easier to have a more diverse run
Or
scene.
dynamic
Yeah.
escape scene with what could happen while the adventurer run from something or someone.
Or someone. Then the bullet die. As you know, we had bullet dice in the first Outgunned campaign, and now we are back with bullet dice, this time in this bronze kind of vintage look. I'm personally looking forward to them, especially. And then we unlocked, of course, the spotlight coins. Spotlight are, your most important resources, and when you use spotlight in Outgunned, you have to flip a coin. So these spotlight coins actually serve two purposes. One, they are tokens to keep track of your spotlight, and on the other end, of course, you can flip them when you actually have to flip your spotlight. One thing I particularly love about having physical spotlight coins, and I strongly suggest that you use them, and you don't even have to actually buy our spotlight coins. You can use any coins, of course, that you have, but I always recommend that you use coins for spotlight, because sometimes the director can be a little bit, conservative, or just simply forgot to give away the spotlight. But when you have, or maybe they fear that they are giving too much spotlight, too little spotlight. But I always say, when you have your little piles of coins in front of you as a director, it is particularly easy to see if you are hoarding on all the coins, and if it's time to maybe start rewarding players with coins. So I strongly suggest that you use tokens for spotlight, regardless of or if you have the Outgunned spotlight coins. And by the way, a little shout out to Daniela for the design of these coins. Yeah, it's a very cool design. All in all, I'm in love with these coins, to be honest.
In the meantime, just to let Rico catch a breath,
Yeah.
we reached 291,000 euros since the beginning of the live. And yes, thank you again for everything. I'm seeing a lot of questions about alchemy. If you want, Rico, I can answer right now, or we can wait to.
I'll just
Okay.
switch to
Obvious.
alchemy, please.
Sorry, I catch my breath sometimes. Regarding Alchemy, one thing for the Italian, so I will speak Italian a bit, forget me. Per tutti gli italiani, Alchemy sarà disponibile solo in inglese, ma posso dire che il responsabile di Alchemy sta valutando di inserire altre lingue, si parla di qualche mese, probabilmente anno prossimo, nel caso in cui ovviamente l'italiano è già pronto e sarebbe automaticamente incluso in tutti i nostri prodotti su Alchemy, ma per ora offrono solo tutti i libri in inglese, ma potete scrivere direttamente a loro, hanno ricevuto molte richieste, soprattutto da altri italiani, non siamo i soli, su Alchemy, quindi ci stanno seriamente prendendo in considerazione l'opzione di più lingue, questo ve lo dico come informazione. Sorry, back again to English. For all the other people, sorry, I will just rush through. Alchemy on VTT when? Right now, Outgunned, the core book, Action Flicks, and World of Killer are in beta for all the backers of the first campaign, and it will be complete and released on Alchemy very soon. They hope to do it next week. As always, you know, I judge, but they are confident. They don't have much work to do. As you know, the last work they need to do is to refine the way we throw dice. That is the biggest obstacle of every VTT interaction of our games. They are working very hard and they are really close. And also, when Outgunned books will be completed, also Project Medusa will be added for all the bakers of the first campaign. And will Alchemy be the ultimate VTT? Yes, we just have an official deal with Alchemy VTT to bring all our basically all our
to answer this
game.
sorry
Tell me.
just to answer this question, we currently we believe in Alchemy and we believe in the guys behind you
Yes.
know, Alchemy, and that's the only things that matters to us right now, is to only work with people that we can trust to bring you the best experience or something that is up to par to what we would do. If we decided to use different platform, which I know Foundry Roll20, there's a lot of you asking for that, we don't have the means to ensure you that they will work properly, that will be, you know, good. We have a lot of people offering to do that, even to offering that for free, but you know, it's hard for us, not understanding much about VTT, to just trust some you know, random people, to be honest, some people that we don't know nothing about, that will certainly do something on Foundry or Roll20, and then we don't know really what we are selling you, what we are giving you. So for now, until we find, you know, some serious partner, we find some times to think about it, Alchemy is the only thing that we feel confident sharing with you. I know this is an answer that will not make anyone happy, but this is the honest answer that we have for you. I can only say that we will work more, be better, become bigger, and we'll try to you know, to bring the game on other platforms as well.
So to answer to Mark, if I am understanding right your questions, if you pledge just Outgunned Adventure, you will get Outgunned Adventure and the expansion of this campaign for free on Alchemy. But as I told before, you will be able to acquire the rest of the Outgunned module on Alchemy as soon as they will become available, I hope, next week.
Apart from the hero pledge
Of
level,
course.
because the
Of
hero
course, for all the hero pledge levels, being the sum of the all-in new and old, all the hero pledge level will have the Alchemy VTT module of the first 4 books for free included in their pledge. Wow, that was a very long sentence.
Yeah. Very excited to have the game back to you know, to Alchemy, and please believe me, the day we can ensure that we can give you something that works on other platform, we will, you know, we will. Then what else we unlocked? That's so much stuff here. We unlocked oh, I was at the passport, and now this is, I know that this, once you have it, and right now I don't know what's your feeling about the passport, but once you have it in your hand, this is a game changer, and this will quickly become a fun favorite, because a passport is basically an A5 booklet, so it's going to be half the size of, so the size of a passport basically, and it will have this kind of miniaturized character sheets with all a space for notes and your items and stuff, and it's going to be extremely handy because you can be able to hold up to 5 characters, possibly more if we manage to, just inside this passport that you can carry with you. This means that after you end playing with a character, you don't have to abandon their sheets, because you can still have it in your passport. This means that you don't have to print your own sheet at home, and this means that you can, you know, switch to different characters very quickly, which is something we personally adore doing between seasons. Even playing, you know, father and daughter, or playing two friends, or playing the same character but in different, you know, eras. So they're going to have 2 different character sheets, one for the young, one for the old. This is something that we do a lot. And also very handy to carry around if you, like us, like to play, you know, around. So yes, I think it was very well received. I think also, I correct me if I'm wrong, Simone, but I think it's one of the most loved add-on right now.
Most
So
add-on. Just to remember you that you can buy one passport, but we also had a bundle, since many of you requested to buy multiple passports. And in that bundle, you can buy 5 passports and the cost of 4 passports. So you get 1 passport for free.
I don't know if we will be able to bring the passport to retail. This will, if
Very
we find,
unlikely.
yeah, it's
To
hard.
be true, it's not an item that in retail can sell a lot, so will for sure be available in late pledge and during the pre-orders, of course, as every other add-on. But just to be sure, it's not impossible. I
Yeah,
won't close anything, but it's very, very unlikely that you will find it in retail. The only exception that I can think of is there are being a few the shops, the store that are ordering full pledges right now, and that will have all the unlocked stretch goal, of course. So if you know a store that is interested and want to be sure to have all this kind of stuff, they can just contact us at our email, and so to be sure to have it. But apart from that, it will probably won't go on retail.
Moving on, one of the last physical things that we unlocked was the movie poster for Action Flix Volume 2. This movie poster, this is actually a stretch goal that we unlock outside of the, you know, the stretch goal stream, because we realized that we were surpassing our original Outgunned campaign, so we decided to celebrate that goal, this record breaking. We made a very special stretch goal that we just unlocked, I believe, this very morning, which is going to be a movie poster, 60 by 30, as all the other poster, with the marvelous cover of Action Flix Volume 2 by Daniela, featuring our dear Tango. And unfortunately, Joao, I still don't have an answer to the question, but we've been kind of busy the last week. So I will, before the end of this campaign, I will give you an answer on her name. Also, we are just 9,000 euros or something away from unlocking the map and plane. Very weird stretch goal. This is from the, as we said last time, this is from the the weird bin. We have a bin of weird stuff that we always like to do. We would like to do with stuff during our campaign. We rarely manage to reach up to that bin. We did this time, so we are going to make a vintage map. And by the way, this is not the map that we are going to, this is just a mock-up of the map. We still have to choose the best map. And also a small, like you know, like just like a bullet die, so it's going to be like this big token plane that you can move around making stupid childish noises, you know, the kind of stuff that we like to simulate, those kind of sequences in all the famous movies where the plane moves from one zone to another, and also to keep track on where you are. And it's a good way, as we said, to learn geography together while playing Outgunned.
Yes.
Because sometimes I am surprised when we move. I'm not very good at geography myself, better with history for sure. Always surprised to find out where the location actually are. Gracias, Brillo. Will Daniela be the artist for the map? No, Daniela just doesn't do map. It's something that she doesn't like doing. But I don't believe we will draw our own map. I think we want to find the perfect historical vintage map and just acquire the rights, you know, for a high quality print, because I think this kind of elements require a certain realism. I don't know how to say it. A certain, you know, should not be a prop, like a proper prop.
As real as possible.
Yeah. Moving on. There's so much stuff. We have locked three actually new roles for
Yes.
Outgunned. The first of which was the technician, so your roles for your, you know, mechanics or demolition expert or demolition expert. I know you're going to play demolition expert, so
Yeah.
why bother listing all the...
Why we bother to give an option? I don't know.
Then we unlock the guardian. As I understand, the fan favorite one already. The guardian is, the picture here shows a person who is actually guarding a treasure, which is a kind of guardian, but also another kind of guardian could be any kind of person who stand up, you know, for other person. So you are a protector either of your friends or a treasure or a family member or a city, a place or whatever, but you are there to protect. And you are also able to protect because this is a brawn based role, so you are physically strong if you are a guardian. And moving on, we unlocked also the heart, marvelous art of the heart. How can you not love this guy? So the heart of the group is, Simone, the heart of the group.
Yes, it's hardly a better way to describe the heart of a group. It's someone who holds the group together, who helps in time of danger when the others lose hope. The heart is always there to remind everyone why they are fighting and what they are fighting for. So it's really the heart of the group.
Salla in Indiana Jones, but also Samwise Genji, in Lord of the Rings. Good example of heart, keeping people together, keeping people, cool. And these are all the three roles that we unlocked so far. But also we have unlocked, a number of different action flicks. We are at 7. We are about to reveal the 8 if you act good during this live stream. So first of all, we had Star Knights, and then for your Star Knights, we cannot say any other word. And then we have Dark Lights to play with demons and angels. And if you like the Midnight Wars action flick from the first campaign, which was about werewolf and werewolves and vampires. This is kind of the twin flick for that. And then what we have old ones, of course, to play with your Cthulhu kind of monsters and unspeakable stuff. And then we have District 77 for your buddy cop movie or your police, flick in general. Possibly my favorite piece of art from
it's
the
my
action
favorite.
flicks. Yegi, I know. Sure. And Wild West, this is the action flick that you forced us to do because there were so many requests for this that we were forced to change our plan and actually make you a Wild West, action flick. And then we have the absolute fan favorite is killing it at the pole, Dino Storm. So, because we are all grown-ups, but also
Dinosaurs are dinosaurs.
We like
There's
dinosaurs.
nothing ever that there will be nothing cooler than dinosaurs. It is what it is.
because dinosaurs.
Unbeatable.
And then what else do we have? Of course, and then the last we unlocked was Army of Evil. And this is of course inspired by Resident Evil, Army of Darkness, but also Zombieland, which was kind of cool. Come on.
Yes.
So zombies, I guess. I kind of said wow that I wrote a new horror flick because I should have written a new groovy flick for Action Flicks Volume 2. It would be more fitting. You're right.
An interesting question about action flick that I would like to answer is by gaming with Showtime Time. Do you guys start these campaigns knowing how many action flicks people can unlock, or do you start making them up as you go along? In this case, it's obvious. It's so.
It's
we try to get an idea, a rough idea on not just about how many, about what to do, because of course it's not just what, it's what rules could be interesting, what type of flicks could be interesting for us to do and for the audience to receive. But as Rico said, and believe us, we tell the truth on this. We will never lie about the stretch goal. We try to listen a lot to what the community says, and a lot of time we came up with something. Of course, we cannot just make something just because someone asked. But if some suggestions, some ideas resonates with us, it could grow into a full action flicks. So it's not set in stone. It's very, very far from being set in stone, believe me.
Yeah, it's
Every day we are
every day is
okay, we are
changing.
doing this, what we can do. We are always asking us and our collaborators how to do better.
And I can tell you that Daniela is not here because she's rushing through
yes.
the art for a new action flick that just came up.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, that's it.
And she started today, and she's running like hell to have the artwork ready. So we are in that kind of zone.
Yes.
But this, I cannot stress this enough. All of our stretch goals, this is the most important policy for Two Little Mice. All of our stretch goals are non-essential stuff. We have people complaining, why don't you add more stuff to the core book? Because the core book is the core book. We will never, remove something from the core book. Everything we use as stretch goal is something that we can live without. So it's not like we have a set number of action flick and we are going to do them anyway. If we don't reach a stretch goal, and by the way, if you take part to one of our campaign, we are very sensitive with the last stretch goal, because if we don't unlock, we are not that kind of studio that say, okay, we got close enough, we unlock them. No, we won't unlock them, because stretch goals are a cool thing and they must be real and it must be respected for better and for worse. This is very important for us. So yes, we'll keep doing as long as we can. So yes, we are taking so much time, and I have to introduce Matt. So before
it's time
no,
to
before
call...
we no, wait. I have to reveal the next stretch goal. For 310,000, I promised you a reveal, and so I'm going to reveal it. You have seen, just a silhouette of this. But now I can show you not the full art, just a glimpse of the art. I'm going to reveal the full art when once we reach 300,000. You ready? I think they're ready.
Yes, it's time.
So the 8th action flick is going to be Quack Tales. I'm going to give you a moment.
It's time.
Woohoo, I would say. So, Quack Tales is your action flick to play as cartoon ducks, mice, cartoon dogs, or whatever. So, Darkwing Duck, if you play Quack Tales with great powers, you can play Darkwing Duck. Quack Tales is, of course, inspired a lot by DuckTales.
And Tailspin, like...
Tailspin was a huge inspiration, so you are going to have an opportunity to play as the seaplane piloting bear in this action flick. And also Quackshot. I don't know if you ever played Quackshot. We are talking, Jurassic stuff. We are talking Sega Mega Drive 1 or 2. I don't remember. Hell of a game. Marvelous game. So get yourself an emulator and play Quackshot. I believe it's what it was called. Very Indiana Jones like video game.
Art. Pure art.
So, yeah. Thank you, guys. And by the way, let us know how many times do you think we can still come close to we can do something that sounds like DuckTales in our games. We are going to break some record for the most words that end with K followed by tails. Thank you, guys. Hope you appreciate. Now let me see if Matt is ready. Matt, are you ready to join us? Okay.
Yeah.
So please welcome Matt. Hi, Matt. You can unmute yourself.
Hello. I'm muted now, hopefully. Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
So first of all, thank you for being here. So how do you feel about the upcoming action flick?
Yeah, I'm not that bothered about it.
Okay.
I play with a lot of Swedish people, and they are absolutely duck mad, and I don't really get it.
Yeah.
Not that I want to, yuck anyone's yams. I'm happy that people enjoy it, but it's not really something for me. That said, I do really enjoy playing games where the heroes are mice. So I did see in the little picture you did say you put mice in there. So I play with my son Mouse Ritter, and I'm a big fan of the Mouse Guard comics. So
Yeah, that's
I'm actually interested in
We
it
as
for
well,
that-
as you
that
can
respect.
probably imagine, since our main company, we love mice.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but
Cool.
Matt
Another
is not-
cool one.
Yeah, thank you. But Matt is not here to talk about action flicks. He's here to talk about the assistant director, which is already becoming a little bit bigger than expected. So, can you
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about what we had and what we have now?
Yeah. So the original scope for the assistant director book was to have a bunch of tools to help people come up with basically creating their own cinematic campaigns. Because that's something that I think a lot of people have been asking about. It's something that when I also first looked at Outgunned, I was kind of excited to put together my own action movie campaign. And the advice in the core rules is there, but it's kind of a bit abstract. So it's I was immediately thinking about, okay, what kind of like tables and things could I come up with to help me kind of generate something like this? And because I've worked on solo projects in the past, and like solo gaming is a big passion of mine. I've got experience doing that sort of thing, because for solo play you have to be able to come up with one of the important things with solo play is being able to generate narrative, to generate plot, because you don't have a game master or a director sitting there giving it to you. So you have to be able to have some really solid tools to be able to generate the story. And yeah, it kind of, that's what's led into the second stretch goal, is you guys tapping into my experience with kind of working on solo projects, and my love of solo gaming as well, and looking at how we can expand on the plot generation tools, I'm trying to keep the terminology straight in my head here. The cinematic campaign and the mission generation and the adventure generation for OG Adventure, and expanding on those so that it's not just something for directors, but it's also something that people who want to play solo or co-op, or for directors who basically maybe want to do something on the fly or with very little prep. That's where this kind of the solo section of the assistant director book is gonna be focused on. So I kind of really want to stress to people that the solo section is not just going to be for solo play. It's going to be for potentially for anyone who wants to be looking at generating story, whether that's the director or a solo player or 2 or 3 people playing the game together. It's really about emergent gameplay, emergent narrative, and also a bit of improv goes into solo as well. And I think that's also, if you're a director and you think, I don't understand, I hear this from a lot of people. Some people from my home group also don't understand why I'm so obsessed with solo role playing. For them, solo tabletop role playing is a social experience, and I love the social element of it as well. But sometimes it's fun to play solo as well. It's like video games. You know, you can enjoy both single player, multiplayer video games. Some people only like one or the other, and it's kind of the same here. But the idea behind this is, if you're a director and you've got no interest in solo role playing, you can still use I would encourage you to at least look at the solo sections that I'm writing, because one thing you can do with it is you can also really work on your improv muscles, so to speak. Because when you're doing solo, everything is generated on the fly. You're not really doing a lot of prep, like, you know, coming up with a story and then experiencing the story, because that would kind of defeat the whole purpose of it. So there's a lot of interpreting prompts, and there's a lot of figuring out where things are going, rolling on tables to see what happens next. And that's really, when I started playing solo, that was something I saw really like leveled up my game mastering skills, is that I really learned how to kind of take very weird inputs from the solo stuff and figure out what that means in the story. And when I actually started like GMing a group again after doing a little bit of solo play during Corona, I really saw that it helped a lot with me being able to swivel when people did unexpected things, because you're like, oh yeah, this is kind of like solo a bit. So for those of you who might think I'm never going to solo roleplay, I don't see the point, I would encourage you to maybe give it a try. And if you like Outgunned, then this is maybe the perfect opportunity. Yeah.
I see there is a lot of great energy. There's a lot of positivity towards what you're saying right now from the chat.
I've not been looking, so yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
so that there's no stakes and torches. I can tell you that there's a lot of love actually for what you were saying. There's been this conversation between me, Simone, and Matt, that Matt being an expert in solo playing and being involved in the assistant director, of course we got into the arguments. We are going to do solo rules for Outgunned. can we make them? And me and Simone, we were at first a little bit on the fence on solo rules, because we actually never played, you know, solo RPGs. But most importantly, or maybe me and Simone, we only play solo RPGs because we only play by ourselves. You know, making simulations and you know, also there's a lot of, you know, fake playtest involved in this process. Of course, our main, you know, fear was nobody from our audience ever asked for solo roles. So we were like, I don't know how people are going to take this, if they're going to like it or not, because we know it's, as Matt was saying, it's kind of for some reason there is some, you know, I'm not a solo player, I'm a solo player. There is this kind, it feels like there are two, you know, armies. But as Matt was saying, it needs not to be like that. And one thing that Matt said that really sold the solo mode to me and Simone as well is you can use it to learn the games, to get better at the game. And so I immediately thought, as when me and Simone were younger, we were playing Magic, you know, and you are playing against yourself, you know, it's something.
Two decks, one against the other by yourself.
Because you are testing your deck, you are testing your skills, and this is something that really resonates with me, the idea that it's always a social, there's a lot of social anxiety, you know, I'm going to GM this game for the first time, and I have spent a lot of money on it, and my players only want to play 5e, and I have to really, you know, make them appreciate the game. And this is the first time, even for me, this is the first time that I'm playing the game. So I really dig this idea that solo rules can give you this kind of, you know, gym.
Yes.
You know, that's a workout for your creativity and for your understanding of the game. So that's I think that's rather cool.
Yeah. I'm glad to see the positive response. It's inevitable. I've worked on The Walking Dead. I did the solo rules for the Walking Dead RPG for Free League, and also Forbidden Lands, the official solo rules. And those were both unlocked during a Kickstarter, and they also there was actually a lot more negative comments about the solo rules on those than I've seen here. So it's been kind of nice to see a little bit more acceptance of that, or maybe a bit more love, or maybe the Outgunned community is just a little bit more, a little bit less negative. Maybe I don't know.
They are the best.
I've been really pleased. I was expecting to see a bit more people saying like, "Oh, we don't want solo rules. It's what a waste of a stretch goal," or something like that. There will be comments like that, of course. There's no bad will towards anyone who feels that way. But I was expecting a lot more, so that's been kind of pleasant. I wanted to just quickly mention there's been a few questions over on the Discord. I created a thread and said for people who wouldn't be able to make the live chat, if they had any questions about the Assistant Director booklet. Do you mind if I quickly answer them? Because there's some good questions there, I think.
Yep.
So I'll just go through the three of them very quickly. The three questions have been asked. Seth, the first one, will there be anything for action flicks, or is the focus mainly on core Outgunned and Outgunned Adventure? That's a very good question, and there won't be anything specifically addressing the action flicks, but I will be playtesting the solo rules I'm planning on, it depends on how much time I've got, because time is very limited here. I would like to try and test it with as many action flicks as possible, and I've got my favorite action flicks in mind already. These would, of course, be from the first action flick, because I don't have access, like all of you, to the second one. But I will be trying out the solo rules with those action flicks, and the solo rules are tapping into the story, the mission generators as well. So they're intrinsically linked. If you have no interest in solo, then it's the first half of the book is basically going to be what you're going to be using, and if you're a solo player, you're going to be using the whole book. So by testing the solo rules with action flicks, I'm testing essentially the entire book. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because while there isn't anything specific about the action flicks, Outgunned itself, although it's an action film genre game, there is no specific setting for it. There's an implied setting, but really people can do whatever they want. And that's why the action flicks, I think, are so successfully fitting in with the core book. It's almost like a setting neutral game, and because of that, there seems to be a relatively easy fit here for the solo rules to fit within the sort of action genre, but still should be very flexible to be able to handle any of the action flicks. So I will be testing it to make sure that it works with the action flicks. Big asterisk there, which is I'm not going to be testing it with every action flick because I just don't have the time to do that. But I will be testing it with some, and yeah, that's a very good question. I know times. The second question is from Chandra, and she asks, will the oracles be deck of cards based? No, they won't. They'll be dice based. A lot of people do have that question generally about new solo rule sets, but they won't be card based. Saying that, there are official decks of cards for Outgunned, and if you look at the pledge levels, you'll see that some of them include these decks of cards. And I find personally, I'm a massive card lover, so I find that these decks of cards are actually really nice at randomly generating certain things rather than rolling on a table. But there will still be tables to roll on for everything in the solo rules. So we don't want to. This is one of the things that we discussed when we were talking about the solo rules, is that we didn't want to kind of gatekeep any of the rules behind. You need to have the official deck of cards to be able to use them. So that's why the cards aren't specifically card based, and we didn't want to add in like a normal 52 card deck into the mix as well as something that's needed. And the last question, this is a very big question from Ren. They ask, would love to hear what your design considerations are for making the solo rules particularly outgunned compared to rules you've made for other games. What kind of things do you think about when designing to suit the game? And that's a subject I could probably spend an hour or two talking about. So just try to condense it down into the nuts and bolts. When I've made solo rules for any of the games I've made them for previously, I've not looked at things like Mythic or Plot Unfolding Machine or any of the existing kind of solo rules on the market, which are generally made as generic emulators, so you can kind of run any game using, without a GM, because they are not really necessarily going to give you the same experience that the core rulebook would if you were playing it with the GM or a director. So I've always approached it from the basis of first playing the game as a director or a GM, and I have played through the entire World of Killers campaign with a group, so that I had that full cinematic campaign experience. And then thinking about how do I try and get the feel of the game for a solo player. So it's not about starting off and saying, okay, solo set of rules needs to have a yes/no oracle, needs to have a theme oracle or multiple theme oracles. It needs to have rules for how the character is a little bit more competent, etc. Yes, of course, those things are almost certainly needed, but it's more a case of looking at, so what I start with looking at like a shopping list of design goals of what are the things that the solo rules need to give the right feels for, so that you're playing out, it feels like you're playing Outgunned. And I think another important consideration as well is that I want to be adding as little as possible to the existing rule set, because as both Rico and Simone talked about earlier, if you want to use the solo rules to learn the rule set, and there's a whole bunch of extra stuff or stuff that's been taken out, then you're not really learning the rule set. You're playing this expansion that's very different. So for me, that is also a very big consideration when designing it, is looking at getting the right Outgunned experience that people who played with the group would also be getting. So I know I'm kind of being a little bit vague there in answering that, but
no, but
that's basically how I've been approaching it.
I think it makes a lot of sense, and it's always, I always say it's one thing to let people play your game, and it's another thing to let people play your way, because your way of playing the game, it's very different. And as a designer in general, you are struggling to convey the kind of experience that you experience that firsthand when you played. So it was particularly important for us talking with Matt on the early stages of this project that you didn't need additional material, you wouldn't need additional rules, or as little as possible, of course, because we wanted solo Outgunned as Matt wanted himself. So, and not just a solo game to play an action movie that kind of relies on the Outgunned material. So yeah, I think that's a beautiful question, and for me it's a beautiful answer, to be honest.
I agree.
Thanks.
I don't know if
I'm just looking at there's a lot of chat that's been going on.
there's a lot of
Yes,
stuff going on, but that's how they are.
I'm sensing very good vibration from the chat, so I'm happy.
Because
And
our audience,
for Jay, I think you can find the Discord link. I think also somewhere in the because it's impossible to post links in the YouTube live chat or for YouTube policy. So I cannot send you it right here, but I think on our social like Facebook you will find very, very much easier those links, so you can join our Discord servers as well. And first of all, thank you very much. I think it's almost time for us to go. It's been 1 hour long live. It's also time for us to release the update. To release the update, it's time.
There is a question. There's a question about the action flicks that I just don't want to ignore. I want to ask if this is a question about action flicks in general. So you've never seen, even Action Flick Volume 1 and don't know what's featured in an action flick, or if this is a question of the unlocked action flick, like specifically it's going to be featured in each action flick, to see if we have time to answer that.
Was that for me?
No, for the chat. Sorry. Sorry, there is a little bit of lag between us and the chat, so I'm always making question and then, freezing up. So let's see because I see a question about what's the content of the action flicks, but I don't know if
there was a really good Discord post you made, Rico, a few days ago, where you kind of summarized some of the things that would, like you mentioned for Dino Storm, that would be introducing huge enemies.
Yeah.
Do you remember that post you made? And that to me was a really good short summary, like tease almost of kind of like changes to rules that people might expect.
Because that's also one thing that might be cool to say before we leave. The way that we approach action flicks is not like we want to do I don't know, Army of Darkness, how do we do it? It comes from the design. We are always like, I think we need a mechanics for a big, giant, animals, dinosaurs, that kind of stuff. And then immediately we're like, okay, we should do a Jurassic Park action flick. We can do dinosaur, we can do a little bit of flavor, but then we can do something that is meaningful, mechanically speaking. So Paxiros, I think, sorry for the pronunciation, said that this is first time making, so little lost. So one addition to make to the core. Okay, I was doing the same like Rico. Let's start by saying that each action flick adds something to the basic rule of the game to better and give you the chance to play that specific kind of movie, like we call them. So it's something in addition. Different flicks has different things. For example, great powers are going to give you tools to play superheroes instead of heroes. So you have the rules for superpowers and how to use them in the game, both for heroes and for enemies in that case. So you can change your setting. You can be a superhero in a world of normal standard
enemies, or you can be just a random nobody guy in a world full of superheroes, like The Boys, something like that. But different flicks bring different rules. Like, for example, Killing Aliens gives you an entire new type of enemy. You find 3 types of enemies in the core rulebook of Outgunned, and that you will find the alien predators and a kind of enemy that works a little bit differently, have different traits, etc. Other flicks add new roles. For example, Rising Dragons as the martial artist, I believe. The name in English, sorry, I always thank you. The martial artist, which is a new role, and the rules for a new kind of special feats that are the style, the martial arts style. So each flick is a little bit different than the others, but basically it has everything we need. We think you need to adjust the base Outgunned experience, or even your Outgunned Adventure experience, of course, since the base mechanic is the same, to that specific kind of movie. I said movie just because we want you to be able to play at the table that movies that we said inspired us.
Okay,
I hope this answer is what you were expecting.
Roughly,
I think just to give somebody a rough idea as well on like different rules, I think the Cloak and Dagger is a really good example of adding something very different, which is you've added dueling rules. So that's kind of I think a really nice example of, rather than just being like new enemies, feats, etc., roles, maybe tropes. There are sometimes, every now and again, these really interesting, almost like subsystems that fit perfectly within Outgunned. And by the way, Cloak and Dagger is one of the ones I want to be playtesting as well.
Yeah, that's one of our favorite. That's kind of mechanics that you can find in action flicks that are very specific, and we don't want you to use all the time in a duel fight, 1 against 1, very specific, very long. But if you are playing, Robin Hood, you're playing a swashbuckling movie, Pirates of the Caribbean, then you want a long duel, so we're giving you the rules. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cool that there's not like a cookie cutter
Yeah.
Sort of flick. Every flick is a little bit different, and they're each tailored to kind of perfectly tweak Outgunned for that genre, which is, I think, just chef's kiss.
And as Rico was said at the beginning, we start from a question. Okay, I have Outgunned. I want to play Robin Hood. What do I miss? We start. Okay, I'm making my hero. There's not some sort of swashbuckler. Okay, new role, swashbuckler. I have my feats. Okay, there's no feats for sword. I mean, there is in World of Killer, but I'm just playing with the core book of Outgunned, so I need. I need to be to ride. So okay, new feats for riding, and I need to. What's the main scene in this movie, in Robin Hood or Cloak and Dagger movies? Okay, the last duel between the hero and the evil guy on top of some tower. Okay, we need rules for that, and that by answering those questions we made the action flicks. That's why they are different from one another.
Yeah, my favorite is for Killing Aliens. Like, we need people to die more, so how can we make them die more? So there are a lot of rules for dying.
Yes.
For adding bullets to your death roulette, so to die a little bit sooner in the game, because aliens. But yes, we are always making ourselves a question: what would I need? What I'm lacking, or what I would be doing different if this game was about that. Yeah, I would say it's been an hour. Thank you, Matt, for being here all this time with us. I'd say we've talked possibly enough, so I will be back at doing our update, so that other people who were not joining us can know about all this stuff. Thank you very much, all of you guys, for being here in the chat. Awesome as usual, positive as usual. We really extremely appreciate not only your support on the funding stuff, but mostly your support as a community, because this is extremely stressful. Being here doing this Backerkit for 3 weeks, and it's awesome to be sharing this experience with you. But also thanks, of course, to Matt, not only for being our assistant director, but also for being with us today.
My pleasure.
Guys, we'll see you next time. I don't know when, but we will tell you. Take care, and we'll see you on Backerkit. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
The Grand Adventure has returned. The world out there is full of unexplored jungles, lost pyramids, and cursed temples that are just waiting for an unprepared explorer. Your next journey starts today. Collapsing floors, creaky bridges, poison darts, fire jets, and rolling boulders. You can expect all that and even more. But if I know you, a handful of deadly traps won't be enough to stop you. You have your eyes set on the treasure. Wherever this journey may lead you, you will rise to the challenge. Outgunned Adventure awaits. The Grand Adventure has returned. The world out there is full of unexplored jungles, lost pyramids, and cursed temples that are just waiting for an unprepared explorer. Your next journey starts today. Collapsing floors, creaky bridges, poison darts, fire jets, and rolling boulders. You can expect all that and even more. But if I know you, a handful of deadly traps won't be enough to stop you. You have your eyes set on the treasure. Wherever this journey may lead you, you will rise to the challenge. Outgunned Adventure awaits.